Look carefully at who God commanded to kill. The Canaanites. That was the only tribe that he said, wipe them out totally. Don't even leave a sheep or a lamb or a goat alive. They were worshiping the devil. They were totally under the devil's control. They were slaughtering their children. They were forcing their children to commit suicide to walk through the fire. When the Jews discovered what they were doing there, they discovered that they were doing them in a valley called the Valley of Gehinnom, which is outside the city that became Jerusalem. And when the Jews started to settle in Jerusalem, nobody would set foot in that valley because that was the valley sacred to the devil. So they burned garbage there. And since they didn't have matches, the fire never went out because it was hard to start fires. Jesus used that eternal garbage dump as a symbol of hell, Gehenna. That's very primitive. God deals with primitive people in a primitive way, which is the only way he could. The only way you can deal with a little kid who doesn't understand the distinction between the sin and the sinner is to say, there's good guys and bad guys, and the good guys got to win, and the bad guys got to lose. And in order to kill evil, you got to kill bad guys. So you look at little kids, 3-year-olds or 4-year-olds playing, and they're often very righteous and very just, and they play cops and robbers. All right, I'm the cop. I got to kill you. You're the robber. Well, okay, but I'll be the cop next time, and I get to kill you. Okay. Nobody says, please forgive me. Even though I've killed people, I've repented. You've got to forgive me. Don't kill me. Nobody says that at the age of 3 or 4. I used to think, by the way, that it was a bad thing to do to give kids little toy guns to play with, weapons. I'm not from Texas. I'm from Massachusetts, you know. So, but I changed my mind when I watched the little kids playing. Even though their parents didn't give them toy guns, they made little guns out of twigs, and they shot each other. But it's always the good guy who shot the bad guy, never vice versa. Little kids can't make that abstract distinction between the sin and the sinner. So God has to teach them, and we have to teach them too, justice first. Then mercy. Mercy without justice is cheap. It's not based on anything. But if you first learn justice and take it really seriously and say, God is just, you can't bypass it, then mercy is extremely precious. So these people are primitives. They, first of all, don't have a clear concept of free will and individual responsibility, only a vague concept. Secondly, they're so strong in the family and so weak on the individual that your whole identity is in your family. Thirdly, children and women are usually regarded as possessions rather than independent persons. And in that environment, to get God's message across, the only possible way was a kind of mass destruction, which is rightly shocking to us. And God would certainly not command that today. But I think we have to be much more relativistic about history and about the changing psychology of different cultures and the evolutionary development of human conscience throughout history. So that was just God doing what any mother does. If the little 2-year-old is about to run out into the street and get run over by an 18-wheeler, the mother doesn't use enlightened reasoning. In fact, she'll probably swear to get the kid's attention. You get out of the street! Mommy called me an you know, God uses pretty strong techniques.